Welcome to Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance, joined today by Rusty Bailey. He is the mayor of the city of Riverside. And Riverside joins 3 other cities in this county that are seeking to increase sales tax by 1 percentage point or 1 cent. Riverside, Temecula, Menifee, and Hemet. Let's talk about the Riverside measure, Measure Z.
Sure.
Tell us about Measure Z.
Well, Measure Z is a 1 cent on a dollar, 1% increase in sales tax. It would bring in about 48 to 50 million new revenue to the city of Riverside, and that would go into essential services. You know, majority of our budget is public safety, and so you can assume that that general fund revenue enhancement would go predominantly to public safety. The expectations in Riverside are very high, coming off of the Renaissance.
Right.
We still have some challenges left over from the recession in terms of operating and maintaining those Renaissance investments. And so I think the public, truly believes in the future of Riverside and continuing the momentum. We're not a status quo city.
Right.
I didn't run on being a status quo mayor.
Right. You were just reelected, by the way.
Just reelected. We cut, by the way, over $10 million structural deficit out of our budget. And so we did that to tell the public, listen, our house is in order. We're taking care of our financial status, and we're looking at the long run with a 2-year budget and a 5-year plan, financial plan.
And you also, in addition to cutting the almost $11 million, you're seeking increased pension contributions from your labor partners, increased contributions to medical premiums. This is interesting, and I think a growing trend. You're tying raises based upon the performance of the city?
Yeah.
So how's that working?
Well, you would assume that the employees want to take ownership over their city. They believe in their city. We have a quality staff and believe in the future of Riverside. And so the better that they perform and the more customer service they provide, it's a virtuous cycle, so to speak, in terms of their performance, then the city performance on top of that. So that's why we think we can share the wealth, so to speak, share the future with our employees.
So the polling suggests that Measure Z is doing well, but you never know.
Right.
And I'm sure that you are out there, you as an individual have endorsed Measure Z. And what I want to get from you, sir, is when you're out there talking about Measure Z, what are you hearing? Are people, look, who wants their taxes increased?
Right.
But Riversiders have been generous in the past. What are you hearing?
They believe in Riverside. They believe in the progress and what we have done over the last 10 years. If you haven't been to Riverside in the last 10 years, you haven't been to Riverside.
All right, well stated. I mean, you talk about the Renaissance. It is quite a remarkable infusion into this city. And what's stunning about the Renaissance, if I may say, is the Renaissance and its expenditures occurred during the recession.
That's right.
Just because of the timing of it.
And so we got so many more projects that we didn't expect, which means that we need to operate and maintain those libraries, parks, community centers, roadways that we all invested in during that time. And so that's truly, I think, the crux of the need there. But more than that, public safety needs new equipment, refresh fire engines, have a more regular refreshing of the police vehicles. It's more expensive to operate fire and police now, and people don't understand that. And so we're educating them. They're asking those questions. Well, why such an increase? Why such a need? Well, we have 20-year-old to 30-year-old fire trucks that are still in service.
And you need 50+1, is that right?
That's right.
Because it is a general tax.
That's right.
Let me ask you, though, about the decision to put the sales tax measure on the ballot. You could have asked for a 1/4 cent, 1/2 cent, 2 cents. You could have gone another way, tax marijuana sales. People are looking at that. I mean, there are lots of possibilities. I mean, I know that, in San Bernardino and San Jacinto have pot taxes on the ballot. Moreno Valley and San Jacinto has a hotel room tax. Lots of possibilities. Why the sales tax?
Well, we looked around the area and we saw that other cities have a little bit higher sales tax than we do. So we'd be right in the middle of it, from 8% to 9%. But with the state going down a 1/4 cent, we'd be back to 8.75. And so we're not an outlier. I don't think that we're going to have people leaving the city or not coming to the city of Riverside to buy, to consume. And so we did our homework and we said, you know what, that's a prudent amount. That's what we need in terms of some of the unmet or unfunded needs of the city, up to $200 million in unfunded needs, that include, cybersecurity infrastructure and stuff that you don't think about and you don't look at every day, but is behind the scenes protecting us and our property.
Let me ask you about the state, because like you said, the Prop 30 sales tax increase passed in 12 is expiring. So we will see our state sales tax drop. So theoretically, if Riverside sales tax passes, it's not a full 1 cent because we're seeing a drop from the state. But there are a lot of measures on the state ballot that do seek revenue enhancements. You have a Prop 30 extension, not on the sales tax, but on the wealthiest among us. You have a cigarette tax also on the ballot. You have a school bond also on the ballot.
Which I'm in favor of, Measure O.
Yeah, exactly. And so, are you concerned with tax measure fatigue?
Of course. That's why I'm telling people to start from the bottom up. Vote from A to Z. What's going to impact and influence and improve your life more than anything else? It's going to be, in my mind, it's going to be Measure Z because it's focused on essential services and public safety. And then Measure O with the school bonds, that's going to allow us to continue to compete in that realm of being, an incredibly educated city and have facilities that are competitive with other districts around our region. That has an effect. When you have the ability to choose where you go to school, we want to make sure that we have the school facilities that people are attracted to, whether it's a STEM focused school that we're looking at to partner with UCR, or whether it's athletic and ball fields. Those are all important, as a part of a city's life and attracting homeowners and attracting businesses and attracting quality of life to an area.
We just recently held I think it's annual Riverside Healing and Unity Service. And I want to get a sense from you, why is that important to hold such a service?
It's always important to be proactive when it comes to relationships between the community and the police. And so that is our approach to this issue around the country where there's conflict between our law enforcement and what's going on in other cities and other areas. And so we invite the clergy, as well as the community, as well as law enforcement and government officials came together to make sure and pronounce that to the public and to come together and be united in solidarity to support law enforcement, but also to let the public know that there are issues out there.
It's maybe 15, 20 years ago, Riverside PD faced a serious crisis with regard to an incident where I'm forgetting her name, but a young black woman,
Miller,
and that caused a lot of tension. Riverside's not facing an instant crisis, but still, like you said, the nation is concerned about community relations vis-a-vis the police. What are you feeling in Riverside? Are you feeling tension?
No, not necessarily. We have a great relationship. Sergio Diaz, our police chief, is very community oriented. He's created a police foundation to serve youth, to again be proactive in our approach to policing, to intervene at the right time, but to hopefully prevent crimes from happening through investing in our youth. And this is just another investment with the clergy to partner together to say, hey, we need to continually come together, pray about these issues, make sure we're supporting any victims and their family, and making sure that our law enforcement knows that we've got their back.
He's Rusty Bailey. I'm Brad Pomerance, Charter Local Edition.